a sledgehammer on a thumble-tack.
With the last hand, when I saw afterwards he'd a pair of fours, I probably should have re-raised him, but he was playing real solid, Jeffrey, and you know, I think that was the first pot he raised, so I sort of thought, well, I can't throw a pair of nines away, but you know, I thought, you know, he could have ace king, ace queen, so I was sort of, you know, if an ace king or a queen had come with the flop and he'd bet, I probably would have passed.
49 hands have left us with 3 players, and Jeffrey Theis, he's won 6 pots, but they've all been big. 335,000. He just put paid to the best, one of the best players in the world, like a box of popcorn. And Roy Brindley, what does Jeffrey Theis have to do to keep on going? Do you think he looks strong right now, or do you think they're going to catch him?
Personally, I don't think he looks that strong. I don't think he can continue to hit monstrous hands, bet the bejesus out of them and get paid off every time. I don't see it happening. I think Tony G and Michael Shaw will chip away. They'll take advantage. They'll pick up his blinds. This guy's going to sit and sit and sit and continue to wait for monsters, and it ain't going to happen that regularly.
Blinds are 5 and 10. Everything going Theis's way, and Shaw folding from the button, but Guga having no such patience problems in the small blind. The raise is 10 plus 10, 20,000, and those little raises, has Tony G sussed out the way to chip into Theis's lead?
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to set a precedent. It will be every other hand, raise, raise, raise. Jeff Theis is going to wait for his monstrous hands, and if they don't turn up, I think he's going to be chipped away.
Does Jeff Theis know what he is on the verge of accomplishing?
I don't think he knows how he's got to this this position. To be brutally honest, I mean, I've never seen a tournament hold'em player flop so many monsters and come out betting for massive bets every time and get paid. And it's just remarkable stuff.
Gee, folding from the button, rare moment of patience from the Australian. And Theis now, big ace in the small blind.
Yeah,
let's see how he plays this.
That's his kind of hand. Wallop goes a huge big raise.
10 plus 30, that'll be too much for Michael Shaw. And Theis padding his lead even some more.
Is he going to pick up those big hands often enough now they're three-handed?
Not bad.
Lot of chips for the Reno man. He's been in gaming all his life, Roy Brindley, but I think on the other side of the house, and maybe what he learned was it's bad to gamble.
Gambling is not in his modus operandi, is absolutely not. Look at that for a piece of cheese.
But 51 hands, and Theis encroaching a big wedge of pie, and if things keep going like they have been, he shouldn't be far off from sealing this deal. American on the button now. Theis looking right, looking left, and reaching deep. It's another raise. 50,000 straight, 10 plus 40. And
well,
that.
You kind of suspected it wasn't a half a hand.
Ace 10 of spades. Plenty good at this stage. Tony G says, let me find 2 kings here. Wow.
You know, against Michael Shaw, Tony G would stick the lot in, but against this guy, well, he's only called.
Wow, G peeling one off for 30,000. If an ace hits the board, he could be singing the sound of silence.
Well, if an ace doesn't, he's got a better chance of winning.
10 has hit Theis, nice and wide. Middle pair for Jeffrey. Let's see if he bets on it.
What do you think, Jesse? The form book says... Well, it's only second pair and top kicker. Shall I gamble?
Interestingly enough, if Theis does
big
check,
lump.
60,000.
That is a big bet. And Tony G, with only an ace high, will likely have seen the end of this stage of the tournament.
See, Tony G can outbluff this guy. There's no question of that. Jeffrey Theis is an open book. He has a big hand. He bets the bejesus out of it. I mean, there's nothing, you know, scientific about that. Tony G knows that he can represent hands when they're not there and win pots because Jeffrey Tice has got nothing, and that's what he needs to concentrate on doing.
If Tony G raises all in at this stage, would Tice put him on a jack and fold? Does Tony G sense weakness here, Roy?
An all-in manoeuvre by Tony G. It's not got enough chips to get it through.
Tice bouncing around to his own beat. The action is off him. It's all up to Tony G right now. And the 50,000 bet, the 60,000 bet, would seem to not be relevant because Tony G has no hand at all.
Yeah, and there's no such thing as a re-raise. I mean, if he sticks his chips in it, you know, there'd just be a few more chips to make it up by Jeffrey, so he couldn't pass.
131, that's relatively calm for Tony G. He is going to pass, waiting for a better time, and Tice looks very relieved to have taken that one down. Another pot for him.
I think that's the worst hand we've seen him put chips in. I mean, he's got second pair and an ace kicker, but that was the worst hand we'd seen him have a bet on.
Interesting mix we've got in these final three. The talkative Australian, the taciturn retiree from Nevada, and a 24-year-old kid from Philadelphia who's only been playing poker for 5 months. Queen Jack now from the button. Shaw seems to know what to do.
Pulls a face and puts some chips in. That's a certain tell on this kid, isn't it? You know, every time he gives it a growl or a snarl, he's got a hand.
The raise is 20,000, 30,000 bet. Fold, fold. Give Phil the money. Michael the money, excuse me. Michael Shaw. And Shaw has had some very tough hands. But with 150,000.
It's amazing how quiet Tony G is. At this stage, he is normally chirping away.
G's been having a tough time tonight, Roy. He's been all in a few times. He's why is he not finding it easy against these guys? He doesn't seem to be able to figure out these internet players. And it is his action now from the button. He's going to sit and wait. Flat call from Jeffrey Tice. That's a limp in. And will Michael Shaw see that as a sign of weakness? He has. All in raise from Michael Shaw. Pouncing on Jeff Tice. And a nice bet.
Jeff Tice folded up so quickly there were skid marks left on the table. Indeed, it was the first time that he'd limped in a pot, and straight away wallop. Fair play, Michael Shaw. Gives it a snarl and takes it down.
Looking at Michael Shaw's Manhattan, it hasn't been an easy road for him, Roy, has it? But he's hung in there, very tough.
You can't win this thing unless you're in it.
Down
Do
to
not knock yourself
50,000.
out.
Yeah, down
Nurse
to
a small stack, stay in.
walkover. Tony said, I had an ace. Can't you guys find something? And this game has gotten very quiet. We are three here. Marina printing those cards. It'll be Michael Shaw, whose game has really picked up of late. Jack on the button. He says, not those. Action on Tony G. He's been successful when stealing Tice's big blind. Will he try it again?
Yeah, he will with that. King's a big card when your head's up.
A raise of 25,000. Tice eyeing all those yellows. And you have to wonder what kind of calling requirements Tice has in this spot. He looks, oh, he's actually just behind. No, not going to do it. king not enough, Roy Brindley.
No, and he's got the chips, and he's got